let's continue our work with perimeter. On the last video, we talked about the formula and how to label it and what steps we're going to follow. We're going to continue with this same method. The only thing different here is in our previous video, we just had figures with some very simple things like both sides were in yards and we didn't have any combination of units or anything. On these problems, we're going to do several problems where we have what I call mixed units, which means you've got 3 feet and some stuff left over. So that's 3 feet and 4 inches. And then you've got down here 3 feet and 9 inches. So when you get this figure, if you just look at the figure, you might think that it was a square, right? But you can't, remember, you can never assume your figure is a certain thing just because it looks like it to you. You have to go by the measurements. So when you look at the measurements, can this be a square? And so the answer is no, it cannot be a square because the measurements are not the same. Remember, a square is the same sides all the way around. So this can't be a square because it's got 2 different measurements for these sides. Then it has to be a rectangle. Okay, 4-sided figure. This side matches that side, so, and this side matches that side, so we know it's a rectangle. So we need to go ahead, remember, and draw and label. That's our steps. We want to draw and label, write a formula, substitute. Then if we need to, we use our algebra and solve it. So it's asking us to find the perimeter. Now, this side will be the length, and this side will be the width. Why? Because this is the longer side, and that's the shorter side. Remember, just stick with that as a rule of thumb. Label what you don't know. P equals question mark. And the next step, remember, is to write our formula. So I'm gonna work to the side. You need plenty of space. You need to work this with me, not just watch it, because you won't remember it if you just watch it. Go get your formula for your perimeter of a rectangle. Use your formula sheet. Happens to be on there. So 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Then you go and you start. Do you have a number for P? No. So the P stays in. Keep the equal sign. Keep the 2. Do you have a number for L? Yeah, you got all that stuff. And you got to put it all. Okay, you can't leave some of that off. 3 feet 9 inches. In parentheses. Keep the plus sign. Don't worry that this stuff is longer than the L. It's going to be longer than what's up there. It's fine. Keep the 2. Now, do you have a number for W? Yes, you do. So you have 3 feet 4 inches. All right, now, this brings you back to some algebra. Do you remember what you're supposed to do when this number is on the outside of the parentheses? You're supposed to distribute. You remember that math word? So that is a word you need to know. So we've got to distribute that 2 to the 3 and the 9. So draw your arrows from the 2 to the 3, from the 2 to the 9. So rewrite. Yes, I know you have to write it again. I know it's a lot of writing. 2 times 3 is 6 feet. 2 times 9 is 18 inches. So we just simplified that expression. Keep going. Write your plus sign. Draw your arrow from the 2 to the 3, from the 2 to the 4. 2 times 3 is 6 feet. 2 times 4 is 8 inches. Oops. Don't put a plus sign. Okay. That is an FT, not an F plus. The abbreviation for feet or foot is FT. Now, continuing with a little bit of algebra. Remember, you're supposed to combine like terms. Well, 6 feet and 6 feet are like terms. They're both positive, so you add your feet together. That's 12 feet. 18 inches and 8 inches are like terms, so that is 26 inches. No plus sign between them. Now you think you're done, right? It's like, okay, whew, got that done. But wait, this is like an infomercial. There's more, because look at your 26 inches. In the previous video, not the previous, but in an earlier video, I talked about customary lengths and simplifying length units. So 26 inches is over the amount that would make 1 foot. So you went over your limit, like 12 inches. Every time you make 12 inches, that's actually another foot. So 26 inches is beyond the 12 inches. So I'm gonna just kind of go off to the side and do a little scratch work. So I'm gonna come over here so that I can come back to my problem. 26 inches has to be simplified. So I put it over my 12 inches. Okay, are you following me on that? Because think about a ruler. 26 inches right here is really 2 feet with 2 inches left over, because there's 12 inches in every foot. So I'm coming over here to do my work. 12 goes into 26. How many times? It goes 2 times. That'll be my feet. 2 times 12 is 24. Subtract with 2 inches left over, right? So 26 inches is really 2 feet, 2 inches. Now I got to come back over here. So I want to add my 2 feet back. That makes 14 feet and my 2 inches left over. Not that. I use that over here to make the conversion. So this is a long problem, and it's really a pain to do them, just to be honest. But we just need to be prepared for stuff like that. Let's see if we can work one more like that so that you've got another one to work from. Okay, so say you've got this problem here. And I want you to find the perimeter. Now you're supposed to know that that is a rectangle. If I give you this, you should label it as what? Length or width? That should have been length, and this should have been width. Hopefully you got that. Label the P with a question mark because you don't know it. Write your formula. P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. Come in and substitute. Do you have a number? No. Letter stays in. Keep. You need 8 yards. That's the abbreviation for yards. Use it. 2 feet plus 2 times 3 yards. Now wait, that looks different than the one we just did, because the one we just did had the mixed units on the other one as well. But don't let that mess you up. You still know what to do. We're going to only distribute this one because this is just going to be basic multiplication here. All right, so 2 times 8 is 16 yards. 2 times 2 is 4 feet. And then 2 times 3, so just one thing times one thing is just, or you know how to do that. It's just multiplication. And that was 6. Let me put my unit in there. 6 yards, okay? Now I need to know my units because I don't want to accidentally add 6 to the 4. That would be not good. That would not be good math. So I want to box off my like terms, and then I want to combine them. They're both positive, so you would add 16 plus 6. Just go to your calculator and do it. And you get 22 yards, okay? And then you have 4 feet left over, right? 4 feet doesn't have anything to add. So you think, okay, I'm done, 22 yards and 4 feet. But wait, there's more. Go check your feet over here on the right side. And what is your limit before you start making yards? 3. Are you over or under the limit? You're over. So that means I got to come over to the side and change it, making that improper fraction. The limit is the one that's going to go on the bottom. Go back and watch that video if you need to. So 3 goes into 4 one time. That's going to go to a yard. 1 times 3 is 3. And you have a foot left over. So then we add our 1 yard to the yards. And we have 1 foot left over. So that's our final perimeter.